What the fuck? The ritual dance worked? What the fuck? Okay, FL ass. Hi. Wait, hold on. Oopsie. There we go. Yeah, no, the PC just disconnected and then said, like, it was showing. Yeah, it just disconnected only on the PC, it seems like. My bad, sorry, chat. It did that near the same time yesterday, too, actually. It's weird. Yeah, it only disconnected on my PC. My phone was fine. Oh, the whole agoraphobia thing. Yeah, because when I applied to Amazon once, and they accepted me, and I was gonna have like my orientation, and when I did, I had like a huge panic attack and like sitting out there because it was a huge ass warehouse, and I didn't know where to go, and I just like had a panic attack, and my dad naturally, when I was calling him saying I couldn't do it, he just said, "Fucking man up and do it. I'm gonna stay on the phone until you walk in there," which was really hard to do, but that is how he is. But still, damn. I might have a mild case of that, or that extends more to basic stuff, you know, like a standard thing. Drop it. Boom. Will be well, no, it was to the point where I missed the orientation. I never went into the job. Like, there's a difference between nervous and then having a full, like, panic attack, where you literally could not will yourself to get there. At least I think. I think that's would be panic attack. I was bored. Yeah, you know. I mean, it's pretty hard to get fired from there, but no. I've heard it be not the best in most cases. There's into Boss Boom Box's hold. I've hidden my jigsaw. You'll never get it. Is it in your ass? I think the main issue I had was being afraid I was going to be stuck there for the rest of my life. Ah, yeah. Okay, as an unemployed, that's literally my dream right now. Fuck. Doing to be a warehouse worker drone. Shit, run tactic. I'm out of eggs. I can no longer shit. Constipated streamer. Oh, thank fuck. Oh, you've splintered me. Take this. I didn't want it, really. I think you did. I guess the only thing that might be worse than working a warehouse worker is living under a bridge. I think it depends on how you do work things. I think it's kind of just dependent on what, you know, if you're a social kind of worker or something like that. You don't know how hard it is. And also, it's very heavily dependent on who you're working for and how much you're being paid for. The void, it calls to me. Will you have a good night, Willie? Cutie's back. Yeah, we came back earlier. Sorry about that. The internet died on my PC specifically. Kari, wait. Hold on, maybe let me refresh my thingy. Wrong thingy to refresh. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, there's actually a lot of notifications I need to respond to on YouTube. I'd be like, well, that's a niche. Why? Because I think that helps with YouTube being happy and letting it see more algorithm. There you go. Oh, it wasn't added. God damn it, Willie. You pushed it up and made me click something else. One of my friends worked at a pizzeria as a helper and ended up being the main chef whenever the actual chef didn't want to show up. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, no, yeah. I'm not bold yet, but I am breathing. I would hope you're breathing. Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry. Wow, I'm all over the place. Graug. I think the food industry is something of what. I mean, fair. I mean, also that is where I'm currently working. I think it's a. But to be fair, I don't think mine's corporate. I think mine's not corporately owned. Like for me, before like the pizza job, I worked very briefly, and the barbecue place I'm at right now has been pretty chill for the most part, except for the fact I'm stuck listening to country music, and I really don't like country music. Yeah, so like if you found like a local family-owned place, I mean, maybe it probably is really lax, honestly. I mean, I think that's kind of how most things are when it's like that. Pretty sure that's how most of the Cowgirl Yura. You know, that sounds like a great idea. Where's the art? Then the question arises: Cowgirl Yura or Yura Cowgirl? I am struggling to speak. There's a Cowgirl Yura Cowgirl. Interim. Oh, fuck. Cowgirl in like cowgirl or cowgirl in cowgirl? Yes, both. Both. Cowboy hat, bikini, like, you know, cow like. Do we need that? Do we need that Ecom boot? I might do a little silly with that. Smell that, streamer? That's ass. Not bad. Not that bad once you get to where you need to go. You forget, I'm ass. Ecom. Bucam. Freakum. Book 'em. Makes me wonder if it's this way. So I need to go back around, probably. I gotcha. Fuck this bitch of an earth dog. No, no, Banjo! No! Banjo! Sorry, I got too immersed there for I hope I didn't blow someone's ears out. Ahui oi. Rogue Spirit's tactical loss. Oh, you don't do. I don't know how the fuck I. Wait, no, I do remember. Yeah, little mouse entrance. What do you mean you were? I was screaming. Oh, but about the cow stuff. The cow, the cowboy, or the cowboy, or the cow, the cowgirl, or the cowgirl cow? I kind of deserve that. Yeah. Oh. Shit. Wait. I see the circle. I see that. So riddle me, am I supposed to shoot something in that? No? Okay, I'm overthinking. Wait, so you can turn them off on both sides? What happens if you turn the other side off? Oh. I'm gonna take a guess on where I need to go. You have the 2 switches for the turbines actually stop. Now they're just slowed down. But I mean, that means I can still technically go in there, right? You'll enjoy it very much when you get there. Are you fucking kidding me? I have a timer? This isn't fair. I don't know which side of the boat it's on. You piece of fucking shit! I think I'm slowly losing it. Yesterday I was here for a whole hour because I either died trying or speedrun or didn't get there in time. Oh God, why did you play on the keyboard, you freak? What the fuck? Or, you know, barely have a PC. I didn't. That's a new that's a new fun fact. I'm sorry. If it makes you feel any better, sometimes I forget the shit I say. Or shit my own lore. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. You, oh yeah, we did talk about this. Like, how the fuck do you not have a GPU? I'm keeping real. I think I'm too tired to platform right now. Or I'm going fucking insane. It's one of the two. I'm unusually eepy for 3 a.m. God, that sounds so much different than how it used to be. So I could wrap it up early. Then Saturday. Okay, how feasible would it be to finish this on Saturday? To finish this, finish the last level, and then the game. Special bonus. I don't know how long those could take. Hmm. We'll try to go a little bit more. I don't know if we'll finish this tonight, like this level, but we'll try to make it to where it's less of a stretch, you know? Fuck it, we ball. We're already drowned. Jesus, fuck. It was just... Fuck off. Getting that puzzle piece is going to be half the battle. Noted. I know how I can cut time. So do I have to do both of those fucking fans again? Yeah, probably. What am I saying? I'll talk to Grantilla's sister for a bit and get notes of what she said. I already know how it ends. I could also just not do that. and just have y'all answer for me and like some on how much do I trust y'all kind of thing. It's like a trust challenge. Hi, Orange. Wait. Oh, fuck. Maybe the fishing isn't... Yeah, the entire thing did disconnect. You... Oh, hell no. You're setting us up for failure. But think of the content. There's so much. Dude, I'm gonna hate my life. Tomorrow I need to do some school thing, and then I need to fucking add fish. And then I need to find out if VRChat even will work with streaming, because it's been a bitch lately. But not prior. I don't think fishing is supposed to be that large. Hey, Tits, does that look like the fucking program called Tits? Yeah, there you go, you fucking ass. Grundy sister parts RNG, so you'll have to talk to her regardless and take notes? The fuck you mean? Titties. Okay, chat. Okay, maybe not hold my breath for that. That sounds like a horrible idea. I should just be on Kazoo. I should be riding Kazooie. I used to feel better. I felt this pain yesterday. It helps a little bit, but not by much. Oh. Hey, Banjo, get your ass up. Thank you. Holy shit. I'm off for the night. You take care. You have a good one, Skin. Oh my god, I just almost killed myself. We can be bees. Hi, Orange. Good night, Skinwalker. And move, 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 move. Move. You know damn well what they're doing with that. Okay. And with this, you sleep. Good night, Willie. Ooh. I thought it stayed stationary too. I'm sorry, the overly dramatic flailing. That was me slightly shitting myself. Metaphorically shitting myself. There we go. So it doesn't sound like I actually shatted myself. I think this one would be better to go first, so I don't have to worry about the backflip. Or the long jump. But you know, even getting everything, there's like a 2-3 jiggies you don't actually use. Honestly, I'm surprised I'm surprised it would use that many jiggies to begin with. I was expecting to have like 10 spare jiggies. They're saying in theory I could ignore this one, yeah. But it won't feel right. Jiggling my balls. Oh, jiggling your balls. I see. Woo! Second try, sort of. Technically, asterisk. He's banjoing it. He's jerking it. Hi, Luna. Oh, fuck. Okay. That's like what now, 7? Yeah. So we got 2 more to worry about, and then we got 24 more stars. Thank you for that. Got to doing the hardest jiggy. Thank you. It was a lot easier when I used Tui, but Tui also feels way more nerve-wracking. We should do this at the next video. You strap me to your back and carry me through the next call. Why? Oh. Can you have, like, I know you can't shoot eggs out of you, but, like, can you grab some rocks so you can throw them at, like, con-goers? Are we done with the giant TNT box? Yes. Well, I mean, now I haven't, but it was there before. Sure can. Do I need a break? Do I need a TNT it again? Because I do know I need to... There's something near here that I need to get into so I can turn off the fans. I don't know if it's that or not. Yeah, but the fan blades that are like in the I mean, sure. Is this the one I went into earlier? Oh, it is. I don't think this is the one I was in. Free trade. Or exit it before it can activate the cutscene. It does not despawn the Jiggy, so you can grab it as the fight starts and leaves. Oh. Yeah, oh shit, it was a double. Ow. Hi, Zaf. Okay, we got 19 more. Can't take credit for that discovery. Problem is I can't remember who I first saw do it. God. Okay. Don't mind me, I was being a little stupid. Do I need, for any reason, access here to cut the fans off at the tiny-ass thing? You done that? Wait, no, the fans are somewhere else, but I just saw when we did that, there was like the thing. Hi, Asa. There was like the fucking fan blades, or the little button on the other side of the wall, the glass. Hi, Asa. Hi, everyone. How y'all doing? I'm slightly tired. How was y'all stream? Hi. I hadn't streamed that long. Might have almost not almost. I did delete my save, but managed to find someone who did was at the exact same point in the game with the exact amount of everything I had, except they had less skulls. Great, fantastic. I can't duck all the way. Because I like making my life difficult. Hi, I am Dewey. I'm an Oni Kamainu. Oh my god, I'm tired. A teeny bit drowsy. I see you change your thing. You got 7 TV? Like, did you just redeem it just now? When did you change it? But it's like nothing it's like nothing went wrong, you know? We call you It was that. It wasn't that color. Did you change the color? So we have the one in the fans system. And then we have one... Oh, and you're managing your emotes. Do you got new ones? Hold on. Now making me want to check this. Because last time I checked was... Actually, no. I think I actually did check recently. I am really great with getting off track. Oh shit, they do got new ones. I still think the Northern Lights work best, you know? Okay. I'm distracted again. We did grab the fan jig already, so we got that taken care of. We have the one down there. We have the one for getting all those little fucks. And then some other one that's elsewhere. Honestly, I don't know where. And then I got to worry about the notes. I'm gonna cry if I get the situation we had with the mansion again. It was like 99 notes, and we got stuck for an hour looking for the last one. Is there something else that I remember needing to go and do? It wasn't. So there's something there. I got 96 notes. I could find the last ass room in the last. Was it the one of the dudes that you jump inside their mouth, or like you find one of the ones that aren't actually? Let me try it. Let me try it again. Was it in one of those tubes? The one that wasn't just a fucking enemy that was eating you? Because I did just see that one. That one did have 4 notes. You missed the mansion, right? So I missed because I thought I grabbed all of them in the chairs in the church. I apparently missed one. And I looked in every other conceivable place, and with how rendering is with the distance, which is why I went back and turned on the mod that increases render distance for the notes and shit. If you were like on one side of the church chair, or like on the chair behind it, it wouldn't show up. It was horrible. You can look back on the VOD. I actually think it was at minimum like almost an hour and a half of just looking. It's the place you don't want to do again because you have to do the fucking timed thing. Which it isn't hard, it's just tedious. You know, I did this to myself. I don't know why I swam all the way over here. Oh, God, I just realized, yep. Oh, we're just gonna start swimming like this. And if it does, it does something, start having us drown, that would fucking suck. Oh shit, it actually... Okay, so I think it slows it down. It doesn't keep it from happening. Okay. Was there something we were talking about before we had to deal with that jig that was down there? Yeah, it slows down a whole bunch. Oh, the cow. Yeah, you did say so about the cowgirl and then never reiterated. No, I said, like, are you talking about, like, no, Yura cowgirl or cowgirl Yura? Or both. Thank you for the pat squishy. I didn't hear you because I was hating on the fan room. Yeah, I did. Yeah, that was what you were saying. And then you heard me scream, like, at Banjo as he fucking died. I was keeping him, or I was really upset about that because, like, I opened the 2 areas that was, like, used the rest of my eggs to open. And then he fucking almost instantly died. Have I? It might be down there. God damn it. You know my fucking issue? I keep... Just when I get used to the controls for swimming, I change them and then fuck myself over. You piece of shit. No, did any of y'all ever deal with the licensed games? Because the ones I remember the most, and one that there is one I do want to actually revisit. It was like this the Rugrats one off the GameCube. Because I have no idea if it was good or if I just... Because I never beat it. But I don't see anyone talk about it, I think. Basically, it had like the little hub world being like their house and shit. I'm not sure. It's the last time I played it would be almost 20 easily. I say almost. It would have been 22 years ago. Yeah, like movie games. Oh, you're behind. Yeah, so like movie or show games. Like you remember Jimmy Neutron? There was Jimmy Neutron, Attack of the Twonkies, and then and then there was Jimmy Neutron Jet Fusion. There was the they had 2 Fairy Odd Parents games. One of them was mid. The other one's kind of serviceable. I can't remember which one's Wish. It was like something Wish, like the Big Wish or something. I think it was the one I had.
Nerevar. How about you, Nerevar? How about you, Nerevar these nuts? Nerevar these nuts? Nerevar.
It's like he's trying to talk to a baby. What am I looking for? Thank you, Garrett. Hold on, wait. No, I think I'm stupid. Remember some good SpongeBob games? Oh, yeah. Battle for Bikini Bottom. There was also the Dutchman's one. The Battle for Bikini Bottom, though, got a remake. Also, hi, Ninja Gaia. What the fuck was... I'm gonna be so real with you. I did not even pay attention to what the fuck happened. Was there always a hole? Did a hole just spawn? Only game I can remember is the Toy Story. I never played it. I think I've heard about it. Just fly? Oh. I technically flew in the water. Yeah. So fucking dumb, dude. I really fucking... Bro, my streamer has no attention. Dude, I keep saying it. I have the attention span of a fucking Etch-a-Sketch that's been violently shaken. There is nothing there. This is a disturbingly easy nut, honestly. I know how to set it. You know what, that works. Sure, Banjo. If you give yourself enough, like, trauma to the head, you'll be as smart as me. Fuck off. Oh. No. I mean, you had to swim on the oily shark water to get it. Yeah. I guess. Okay, wait, what do we have left again? It was... Well, you know where 2 puzzle pieces are. You're... Hi, Jeffrey. Nope. How was work? No work today? Oh, so you left... Well, you weren't in the stream. Fucking with you. Hopefully you had a good day, though. Or good... I guess it's afternoon for you. So that clip you did... Yeah? The one where you saw me visibly delete the save file by accident? Yeah, that one? That one? Yeah. So you'll never believe the luck. Before I gave up, I went and checked to see if anyone has found like ways to find backups of saves. Well, there is backups, but it kind of is like a weird thing. You know, this doesn't use saves in a typical N64, but it has backups in the N64 file. It's weird. However, someone had a save. They were talking to this person on Reddit, like, yeah, I do have a save. They didn't mention anything about where the save was. To like the person who was having this issue. So like when they said like, yeah, I have the save. So I've basically collected everything up to this point. I'm like, that is literally where I fucking was, and everything I grabbed, except they didn't grab like 3 skulls. There's one pipe you didn't go through yet. Kill. I've already been in that hole. You won this hole. I thought I did go through most of them. So I've gone through 2 of them. Yeah, like this is one. I think. You know what? That's a good. Why the fuck can I only access the kitchen through the pipes? So was it this pipe? I mean, there is a door. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh, are you talking about the fact that... Yeah, I'm stupid. I think that's why y'all are here, though. This one's a fake. Yeah, I know I've been here. But, like, I've already checked all these pipes. See, that one's a real one. We've already been down that one. So there's one pipe you didn't go through yet, and there are some holes that you didn't know you can go through yet. Isn't that how life works? New hole unlocked. You know, I don't think I've been through this one. Oh! You're trying to force your way through the new hole. That's the one. I swear if this is timed, I'm gonna cry. Wait. Okay. Okay. Fucking scared the hell out. Wait. Don't I fall for it. Dude, I would have uninstalled. Which, I only say that because I find it funny of just threatening to uninstall an N64 game. You know what? Fuck you. Eject my N64 game. Force eject. Oh. Oh no, don't uninstall it. Just blow up the cartridge. Yeah, it's Garrett. We have 11 more, and I don't like how that's an uneven number. I have a bad feeling. I think we're gonna have a mansion incident again. You dumb fuck. There's a room with 5. That means there's going to be 2 rooms with 3? Or 1 room with 6, and both of those feel odd, you know? Oh, yeah, the little panic. I know, that's why I was upset at myself. I almost killed myself just panicking. Like, well after the fact. Okay, we got 2 more left. Thank God the bees can't fly. I know, right? Oh. So fucking dumb. Okay, one of them is grabbing the fucking little shits. Okay. So about these holes that I don't know I can fill. Yeah, I have 2 jiggies. Like zeroed away and know you can go through there. But try to break the wind. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you I tried this already. I tried it. I tried this same fucking window. You. I swear I didn't. This opens a whole new, like, plethora of possibilities. You have no idea. You saw me do it and you didn't, like, assure me or anything. What the fuck, man? Oh, we're friends. What the fuck? You know what? You're not getting any Sonic mozzarella sticks. New window of opportunity. God damn it! Not the Sonic stick. Dude, I don't know, every time I get my paycheck, I get the strongest craving. I need to stop, like, going too bad on, or like too heavy on it, because I will overestimate or underestimate how much food I fucking got. I think if I get a paycheck, I'm gonna get like 6 mozzarella sticks. Thank you for the pats. Wait a minute. That poster, fuck. That's familiar, is it? Hi, DJ. No, not the Sonic stick. I'm scared. Not of you. Fuck off. Was that bad for... Okay, so I was thinking the wrong path of, like, that was like Conker's Bad Fur Day. But, like... That wasn't made yet, right? I'm not crazy? That was made, like, 99? Or some shit? I know the original Xbox got a port of it not long after. Right? Wait, does he have a wife? Fuck, does he have a... Yeah, remember the 5-note room I told you about? It was a 4-note room, sorry. You just got it in a second. Fuck. He had a girlfriend. Oh, fuck, wait. Barry was Conker's girlfriend who first appeared in Banjo-Kazooie as a cameo. She was later redesigned and finally appeared in Conker's Bad Fur Day. No, just a girlfriend at the time. He looked like him, a girl. Maybe. We got the reference without knowing it. Apparently, though the way they phrased it made it sound like it's like they visibly appeared, but I didn't see it. Chat, I'm scared. I don't want to do it again. I don't want to have to hunt down fucking notes again. No, it's last three. Chat, I'm scared too. Let us embrace. Not in coitus, but in fetal position. Spoon request. Knife request. Bitch. They're all here! Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Wait, no. Holy fuck. There we go. So it's the last three you're scared of here. Noted. Holy fuck, Lois. Coming. Okay. Okay. So we have one more. So we're just needing to grab those little shits. And the thing I'm not sure of is I don't know where all of them are. No, all of them are. Oh, the little. I know where a few. Don't get me wrong. I could do a Peter voice and say that my partner's a bit one day. Dude, I will. Have you seen the fucking video where like it just like someone's YouTube on like TV bugs the fuck out, so like it keeps trying to play the video and it just like they keep clicking out and it keeps holy fuck. Holy fuck. You just have to keep edging that. Banjo, I think you're gonna drown. Banjo, I'm so sorry. No! The hole! Hold on. Okay, okay. I'll get pissed at that in a second, okay? Dude, I can't find it. I'm so sad. You know where Eberginjo is, by the way. You saw them. Is there any for is there any of them inside the ship? Yeah, I think that's gonna be the scariest one, so I'm gonna try to aim for that one first. Again, Boongar. You. Banjo. What the fuck? Okay, you know what? No, I'm not gonna complain about that. I'll fucking take it. Oh, fuck. Stop it, damn it. I'm awake again. Well, good morning. Or evening, or time zone. Huh, look at where this one is. The above likely has air for those. Oh, the above likely has air for those with skills issues getting out. God damn it, it does. Was about a lost file? Oh, we might have deleted our original save. And might have had to download one online that somehow actually had the exact same things we had, except it had a little less. It's so easy to delete the file, though. What the fuck? Yeah, I know, because I didn't even look up where, like, my save specifically, or where I was. Because I was going to try to look for a backup. You press the whole last... You have to hold down the whole last button. I actually held that bitch down. Oh, it's not an emulator, it's a PC port. That's why it's so smooth. Because I didn't even notice I deleted it. I was panicking and held down like the Z button to like speed through, or I think I fat fingered it. I don't even know what the fuck I did. The thing is it's one button that doesn't, that the way it asks you, it doesn't pop up on the screen. It asks you as if you're trying to select a save. Look, I'm not going to criticize a game that is older than me, okay? Because I'm sure it wouldn't happen as much nowadays. But, like, god damn, that sucked. It is older than me, right? Yeah, 98. Yeah, it's like 2 years older. I'm like 26. Yeah, I was 26 January 25th. This was released in 1998, 2 years after Super Mario 64, which is 1996. You piece of shit. You hold her by this. You're holding this by half a decade. Damn. Fucking fossils. Ow! I deserve that. Oh no! Oh no! Banjo! I am a 2000s kid. Oh my god, just blow up. I wish I was. I feel like everything I do kind of makes people think that I like genuinely own a leather jacket and like my hair tends to go within that style. Like naturally curls and shit. Well, it used to naturally and then it stopped being natural and then I used gel and then it gaslit my hair to think that it was supposed to always be like that, so then it kind of became natural again. It's weird. Okay, you're in the club. I decided, hell yeah. I love leather jackets so much. Thing sucks. When I first got it, I got like this spray that's supposed to like protect it from stuff, and I was like, never knew what that meant. But like when it started getting like slightly discolored, I'm starting to realize that might be what that was supposed to protect against. I don't know where that spray went. That bitch is long gone. For a nice man, I don't think it really counts as a nice person. You're close enough. You round up. Thank you for the hydration. Counts as 90%. I assume it's a mixture and or a huge amount of either you vibe or you envelop the aesthetics of what the 90s was, or you were there for it, or embellish yourself in such thematic stuff like that, or you were born there. I think content consumed is probably a larger portion of that, but definitely, you know, being a 90s kid from a more standard definition would be just you were born in the 90s, right? Womp womp. So I need blue and orange. What would that be? Oh. I see. Wasn't conscious, but I was there. I don't know about y'all. I swear my first memory I remember having was me running around a chair screaming I was born for, and I was holding these like chewy Chips Ahoy cookies. And I think that's just a little silly coincidence. Or it's somehow something I completely... If it was something I made up, I want to let it be known I've made it up for over like 20 years. You need me? Yeah, of course I do. You're stranded over there. You're making me pay a goddamn toll to get there. You in the Zelda Woods? Fair. I'm trying to think of another one. I remember one... See, I used to call the houses we lived in. Because for a while, we lived in this house. I don't remember what happened. No, I remember. So... we lived in this one house that we were going to stay in for a really long time until, like, I think I was maybe 3. And the reason we moved out was because there was someone that moved in the neighborhood that, you know, has to tell people they are a certain... They've done things, you know? They had to do the shuffle. If I recall correctly, it was not just standard. It was young. So our dad moved us out and got a. We got an N64 on my dad's side. It's a smart idea to sell for a PS1. Ah. As the oldest, you can consider me as playing the original Pokemon Red and Blue. I see. But I think we got this land that we were gonna, that was like having a house built, and I think Dad was helping, or like sort of getting something built there for a while. I think it was supposed to be our like permanent residence. I don't remember why we had to leave that specific place. No. Fuck, I did it wrong. Okay, so I don't remember why we moved from the first house that I remember. I call it Level 0 house. But we temporarily moved to a trailer while the other house was being built, and then we moved in there. It was about a year or two, I think, there before, John Diddler moved in, and we moved out again to what I call now the Level 4 house. Is what I called it when I was younger. And then that lasted like 5 years, and then black mold started growing in it, and then there was an infestation, and then we had to move again. And then we moved again to residence, and then to an actual. That's a lot of stuff. Besides the point. What I call the Level 1 house, I think, was the trailer. But before that, I remember I was around 3 or so. We went to the fair, and they got me like this little inflatable, but kind of weighted punching bag, like weighted to where like it comes back up, right? And I remember it was a Hulk one. That's what I remember. Yeah, we moved a lot. There was one year, I think it was 2018. Instead of going to graduation parties with my friends and stuff, my dad was moving, so we moved from like one city to about 2 hours over to a different one. And I got to stay over there for about like a month before I had to move again. And then there was another instance, which is the one I was actually thinking of, but my brain was stupid, where I temporarily hold on. So I was at the dorm for a while for college, and then I moved back to like the place we were renting out for a while we were getting a scope of the city. And then that was like in like May, early June. And then middle of June, we moved from there to the house we're currently at, and helped move stepmom stuff into from another house. And then near the end of July, I moved to an apartment. It was a lot of moving. There was a lot of moving things. Can y'all help me find where the fuck the blue one is? I'm gonna get myself killed just waddling around. I'm getting lost just yapping about shish. Talking about shit. The blue place is blue. What fucking blue place? Blue Man Group? I'm the only one you didn't get. One with a hole that's... What? Fucking... Oh. Oh. You motherfuck. You're right. Yeah, I did totally mean to check that and then proceeded to never check. I'll grab this one first, then I'll go and grab that. Rotate, seek, elegant. It was annoying. I mean, I wouldn't say I missed a bunch of graduation parties when moving, and I don't know. I never enjoyed moving all that much. I think that's what builds into my habit of wanting to stay in one place is because I would move so often that I just got sick of the entire process. I suppose it was fun in some cases, like a new place and all that, but like, outside of that. And it's never been like, any huge new place. Like, between us, I wouldn't mind moving states because, first of all, it's too fucking hot here. Sure, I'm quote unquote used to it, but it doesn't mean I can't fucking hate it. I want to go somewhere it snows. I want actual snow. That's gonna be a pain in the ass, because the family never typically has moved out of state, really. So I feel like I'm gonna have to convince. Or find a way to be like, yeah. Of course, it's hot. You're right here. Well, thank you. I'm gonna go throw myself in a pool of ice. Oh, this bitch. Go. So we did all of that. So how feasible now is it for Saturday for us to finish the rest of it? Which is one world, the middle thing I have to do.
Some chicken, I see. Chicken, chicken is my favorite. Chicken,
And then the boss.
chicken for me. The chicken song, that is. Chicken,
Thank you, DJ.
Some chicken for me. Chicken,
Very doable.
Some chicken, I see. Chicken
Nice.
is my favorite.
Chicken for me.
The
Chicken song, that is. It's a bit long, but not as much as you think. I'd assume it's just slightly longer than a typical level. I wouldn't think it's like twice as long. And even then, we did do 2 levels today. And one of them had us stuck there for an hour, and the other one, we fucking deleted our save and had to deal with that first. And thank you, Cube. Hi, Cube. Thank you for the hydration. How you doing? I guess, like, when moving and all that, like, I'm not, one who does a lot of exploring. I need to get better at that. I want to walk around the mall more often. I want to make that a habit, like stuff like that. I always found it weird to do that stuff without anyone else. I guess that was how I was raised. I slept in today, but I took an extended nap. Well, good morning. Now finally awake? Good. I haven't thinking about moving by yourself. Right now, probably wouldn't be like that. It would probably have to be roommate type shit. I mean, eventually I might do that. And that's something long term. Awake and dehydrated. Go absorb water. Alright, observe this, chat. 9 out of 10. 6 out of 6. Almost. An isotonic drink. Guys, what's isotonic mean? Don't blame me. Weather is hot as fuck. Yo. Oh, I already kind of sort of did that before. That's something I do want to do. Right now, I need to kind of do better with money stuff. I'm horrible with it, as you can see, but... Alright. We're gonna go to the just chatting for a bit, chat. Is that cool? Bop, 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 bop. How's... Bring your ass over. I was like drinks are drinks that are roughly the same salt contents as your body. Is that... Huh. No, bad. No ads. Basically, a drink that hydrates you without diluting your electrolytes. I see. Edging the ads. It's got electrolytes. It's got what plants crave. The purpose of isotonic drinks is to replace as much minerals that you lose naturally. Oh, it doesn't work? Yeah, it does. It's fair. That's how I... Snover? Snover! You poor fuck, you're 4 times a week to fire. It's my fault for chugging so much water the night before. Is it? The fish did. Oh, the fair. Yeah. I was almost tempted at one point to just subtly switch the command so it has to be fair. But I feel like that would, like, fuck so many people over. And I would get annoyed trying to tell people. You can cast in 19 seconds. Wait, is this one? I want to say this one, but I did not fucking remember what this one was. Oh, this one. What the fuck is this one? Yeah. I can't whisper it. I'm gonna be fucking so tone deaf like that. What's this one again? This is Farther Away. That does remind me. I actually do still owe a karaoke night again. The only reason I put it off for a while is because I didn't want to do kind of close together, so it'd be kind of the same shit kind of thing. Yeah, karaoke night. We've done those a few times, and I remember the first one took a while to get it up on YouTube because King Crimson, the band, completely told YouTube they cannot upload this video, period, because for 30 seconds, Court of the Crimson King was playing. It apparently detected as a very specific version, and apparently they're just known to be assholes about that. so that sucks. But I just muted that section. Have you experienced snow already, or is that like a spectator? We haven't, to a mild extent. It did snow actually earlier this year for a bit, like quite a, like to where it was like under like, it was like multiple days, like under 10 degrees. But I want like, what is snow? Sounds like a myth. Imagine a slushy, but like not a slushy, right? Oh, that's why you feature Stone re-upload karaoke nights. Well, I'm a weird person when it comes to leaving behind memories and such. But I mean, if I could still upload most of it in only 30 seconds mute, or I think actually in the end it was like maybe a few minutes were muted. I think that overrides the 4 hours of non-mute shit, you know? Oh, this is the one I was thinking it was. This one is Don't Ever Forget. I think I want to say it's Explorers of Sky. Yeah, okay, all of these are Explorers of Sky. I'm stupid. It's never too late. You can boot it up again, experience peak once more. Time is fleeting. I mean, I'd prefer leaving a couple songs out, but experience the rest. Yeah. To be fair, I wasn't even singing Court of the Crimson King. That was in the background, I think, while I was taking a break. I think fucking Bloons Tower Defense 6 was open. I want to hear that. So it's like, I wasn't even singing it. Pretty sure if I was, it wouldn't have been copyright struck. I'm just purely vibing. So, oh, karaoke night only no copyright music. You pull up the fucking, you fucking pull up no copyright like the fucking channel. I mean, I'd prefer leaving a couple songs. Oh yeah. So about the cow thing, I still don't know what you have. Why don't we get like theoretically? What if it was, no, Yura with a cowboy hat, with like, you know, a bikini as a cow, riding cowgirl. You just min-max the cow, the word cow in there. Good old Minecraft gameplay music. Oh my god. %100% cow. It is oops all cow. Yeah, we're min-maxing cow. Cow print condom. This is just spotted. You know what? Hell yeah. Put a little hat on it, slightly tilted. Hey, that was Manaphy? Manaphy. Believe it or not, I can't see what the Pokemon is. I'm trying to learn to do it just from hearing them. There is that one challenge or one game mode, the one fucking game show in Emerald Rogue where you need to know that, right? Okay, so I was about to say Saturdays if that was the next stream. I fucking forgot. It's Monday. Oh my god, it's Monday. Well, if everything goes all right, everything goes dandy. If VR chat isn't being a little shit, I think worst case, I might need to just take my computer outside, blow that bitch down, because it hasn't been blown out in a while. Much like me, it hasn't been blown in a while. So maybe blow it down a little, maybe it'll help with the air circulation. And then see if it'll run VR chat and streaming at the same time. Tuesday. Thank you for the Pat Savage. Blowing the back out of your computer. I didn't say it like that, but we could fix that. I'm hoping my paycheck does come in tomorrow, though. Like I said, it's not like it's an issue. We could fix that as a team. Hell yeah. It's not like it was, because I'm not shitting you. The beans at my work is actually really good, but I don't think I should be eating them as the only thing I eat the entire day, minus how many fucking fruit by the... I think I had like 4 or 5 fruit by the foots today. Maybe 6. I have 1 left. And I mean, I have like also a pound of ham for sandwiches, but that's for me. It's not really the emergency thing. It's just something that I want to have as like a last resort. So it's not like oh, I have to do this. It's like, oh shit, I got this. You know? You know how it is. Probably. I think you do. I hope. Or I look really stupid. It's one of the two. But hopefully, if everything goes well, I'll have... I want to aim to at least have 100, maybe 200 new fish in the fishing game. Depending on how I am, I can lock in. To be fair, I think the 500 or the 700, I think it was, that we added, or no, maybe it was 500, was done in a day. Like 6-7 hours. Don't you dare say it. Hi, Violet. For so I'm going to probably only push myself through like 150 or 200. Especially if I'm not doing all of them as Pokemon, it would be a lot faster. 6. But yeah. Anyways, let's see. You know, I would pretend to say like, oh, who should we raid? But I've been staring at Noah with the title Grilling Liminal Sausages in my backroom's yard, sipping... I'm clicking it. Hold on. Sipping Monster Zero Ultra Uncanny next to the pool room's life's good. You know, I didn't even read all of that. That's fucking amazing. But hopefully tomorrow we'll be fishing. We'll be fishing together. We'll be chilling. We'll probably yap. That's mostly what it is, right? Good relaxing day after this session, especially. And then after that, Wednesday's, I think, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon randomizer. So we'll go right back into the trenches. Because I'm pretty sure last time we ended with like 3 dead Mons. fishing on stream. Yeah, like the VRChat fishing world that I'm not addicted to, I promise. Yeah, not like IRL. I feel like that would be a lot. It's not gamified enough. It won't keep y'all. It won't keep not y'all's. It won't keep my attention span. There we go. Viewers friends. So it would probably be like, y'all have the fishing game up. I wouldn't mind with like the stream friends I have, but the issue is I don't even know if I can run it normally with stream by myself. So it would be very limited if I could even do anyone, right? But if y'all want to join the Discord, there is new art, by the way. Art that I didn't expect the ass to be hanging out of, but I mean, it is. So I can't show it. But I also do other things in there. I mean, fishing's addicting. Addicting. Anyways, I'm going to try to wrap this up in the next minute and 20 seconds because I don't want y'all to fall into the ad hole. Compared to IRL, yeah, it's gamified. It's a lot quicker. It's... Ask Dewey's voice. Yeah, thank you. A dicking. Oh my god, I should have used that a lot more because I was horribly speaking. I need to get y'all more used to it. So I can make y'all do it instead of me, All right, we're gonna do the /raid command. I got 50 seconds, chat. I don't want to pull y'all into the damn ads, okay?
Chicken, 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 some chicken for me. Chicken, 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 some chicken I see. Chicken, 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 chicken is my favorite. Chicken, chicken, chicken for me. The chicken song got his.
Hold on, I'm trying to think of... I don't know. Here's a random raid message. 7:20 here. Should you really eat breakfast? You absolutely should. And now I'm gonna send y'all out now before it actually throws y'all into that. So y'all have an amazing night. I'll see y'all hopefully tomorrow. I hope. If not, I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Y'all take care. Keep yourselves fed. Keep hydrate. Take care of yourselves. There's only one of y'all. Good night.
Isn't that a good thing? Oh, Banjo-Kazooie, how was it? Thank you for the shout-out, Cloud. I did not delete my Banjo save. Is there, like, some reason you would have to do that? But welcome, guys. Welcome. I hope you had fun with Banjo-Kazooie. That's a game that I kind of need to play. I think I would start off with the creepypasta version, though, because platformers are kind of, I just get real frustrated with them. Because I did not delete it? Wait, is that... What's wrong with... What, are you supposed to delete your game? Are you supposed to delete your game? Bebo, thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate it. Eventually I'll play Banjo. Eventually. But I hope you guys had fun. And also had extra fun not deleting your game. You love Mario and yumping around. I love Mario when it comes to like Horror Mario or Mario.exe where he bleeds out of his eyes and goes Lucas. But when it comes to regular Mario, that makes me sweat really bad. Godzilla creepypasta video game. I haven't seen that yet. I've seen the Godzilla creepypasta analog horror video series that's really silly. And I kind of like that a lot because it makes me laugh, but the creepypasta video game, I would play that. Fun had the heart attack from not deleting my save after 15 hours. Wait, what? Why did you give it a heart? Why did you get a heart attack from that? But Raiders, welcome. My name's Noah. I'm an angel. I don't have a Halo right now. We're in between games. We just finished Which Naruto Character Are You? The Quiztacular Spectacular Experience Anniversary Edition Deluxe. And it required actually reading out 6,000 words of text. Hi, Hoodie. Now we're going to be playing, guys, Sports 2013 Final Mix, down by 5, 20 seconds on the clock. Gamers beware, you're in for a scare, trademark. And I hope you guys enjoy it. It's got Captain Crunch in it. But yeah, creepypasta games I really like. EXE games I like. I want to do a Sonic EXE stream at some point.